Hey-o. All right. Call me anything you need. Yeah. Motherfucker. Yeah. Look at that. Dirty words and all. Yo. Well, good morning, everyone. Black hole sun, won't you come and take away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Black hole sun. Singing a tribute right now to Chris Cornell, who I loved. I loved that guy's voice. I loved his look. Loved the way he played the guitar. Loved his songs. And now he's gone. Chris Cornell, rest in peace. Did the show a couple of times. I think twice. Maybe 3 times.
I think so.
Yes.
I think it was twice.
At least twice, Robin.
Yeah.
Black
I was
hole.
very hurt by that news.
Yeah, me too. Just sucked. You know, I'm kind of like with the family on this. He just didn't strike me as a guy who would kill himself based on everything I read, and he was in Detroit, and they were on tour, but the wife said...
Well, even, thinking about how he was in interviews, he seemed like a guy who had it all together.
Yes and no, but I'll do my tribute.
I know he had a darkness, but it seemed like he was handling it.
Yeah, well, the family is claiming that he was on a medication of some kind. And I was talking to somebody I know who's a little familiar with medications, and someone said to me right away, I wasn't even talking about Chris Cornell, and they said, oh, that's the one that makes you want to kill yourself if you OD on it.
Really?
And so maybe...
Well, a few of them have that side effect.
Yeah, so I don't know. The family is claiming that. I'm sure the drug manufacturer is saying that's a lot of horseshit, but who knows? Yeah, Chris did 2 in-studio appearances and 1 phoner. Yeah, so 3 times he was on the show, and I like the guy a lot.
Seemed like a very nice, sensitive man.
When did the news come out that Chris Cornell was gone? Was it Wednesday or Thursday?
I think it was Thursday.
Thursday morning, right. Okay, yeah, because Thursday morning we weren't on the air, and I got the news, and I went, oh, I wish I was on the air. I would talk about Chris Cornell and maybe do a tribute. But I'll still do a tribute. It's just, a couple of days later. But I was sitting in my house, picking my asshole, as I do on our days off. That's literally what I do. I pick my asshole and I smell my finger.
Well, that can't take that long. You don't need...
No, I could fill the whole day with that. I love it. That's my whole day. No, I was like, I heard the news, and then I got all weirded out because we knew him, and I love his music. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. The guy's 52 years old.
Yeah.
And
has kids and everything.
So all of a sudden, you know how like when John Lennon dies or Prince dies or Michael Jackson dies, people all of a sudden go out and buy all the albums,
right?
And the record sales go through the roof and stuff. And I always kind of laughed at people like that because they go, well, why now are you buying the records? In other words, so
like, did you forget? Yeah,
like all of a sudden, and the guy's dead. Now you want to go torture yourself and listen to his music. Well, all of a sudden, I found myself. I went on online, and I started looking up all the Chris Cornell Soundgarden and all his whole career retrospect. I started listening to Chris Cornell music, and I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm doing my thing in the house, and I go, wait a second, I'm getting fucking depressed. Why am I doing this to myself? Kind of stupid. I'm one of those idiots that like goes out and buys. Well, like, why should I listen to his music?
And then cries because, my God, this is never going to happen.
Like, I don't feel right. I feel I'm getting sad. Like, I'm going to go kill myself. I can get pretty fucking depressed too.
Right. Well, I was driving around, I guess, and I turned on Lithium. And they were running a whole Chris Cornell interview where they were talking about the various albums and the songs and the different groups he had been in and songs he liked to cover. And I was like, I couldn't turn it off.
Oh, there you go.
Even though it made me feel bad.
Yeah, anyway, so I became one of those assholes. Like had the whole.
I didn't buy any music.
I had all the. Yeah, you didn't buy his albums. I mean, I had all the Chris Cornell music, and I'm like listening to it, and I'm going, oh, I'm getting really sad, and then I even got into like looking for signs of Chris Cornell being suicidal. Like all of a sudden, I was like, I never knew what the fuck Black Hole Sun was about anyway, and I read some article. Maybe it was in Rolling Stone because here I was, researching Chris Cornell. I was just like getting caught up in it. And Black Hole Sun, won't you come and take the rain away? Black Hole Sun is death. And when he comes, he takes away the rain, which is the sadness.
The pain.
The pain, yeah. See?
Well, that was the subject of a lot of songs. There was one song, and I can't remember the song now, but he talks about why is he still here when life is so miserable.
Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Meanwhile, so I'm like,
and this song, Howard, that I don't know the name of. It was really hopeful because it was a sort of a love song. It was about how somebody came into his life and made him forget how miserable he was for a while.
Meanwhile, I think Beth is getting more and more annoyed with me because it's so funny. Like, so I was really caught up in the Chris Cornell thing, and because God, we had him on the show and everything. I've shaken the man's hand. I've taken pictures with him. I interviewed him. And I was like listening to the music, and Beth and I decided to go for a walk. And I don't know, she's texting a lot of times when we're walking. I know, it's crazy, right? She's going to fall into a ditch one day.
Yeah, how does she text and walk?
She does. She's always texting because she's saving animals every minute, like literally doing it all herself. And so I'm walking along, and I'm like, if you were on a walk with me, and Beth's texting, so I'm like, Black hole sun,
you start
won't you come? And I don't even know I'm doing it. Wash away the rain, black. And I think I'm sounding pretty good. And Beth goes, shh, shh. I go, shush. Why are you shushing me? I said, you're texting. She goes, yeah, but I could just tell my singing really annoyed her. She goes, no, it's just that I'm going to start singing it, and I know she's not going to sing it. She's not really that familiar with Soundgarden. Like she's into some weird music. I don't even know what she's into. But she got annoyed with me again. She really, I think I really bother her. We've been together 17 years, and I think I finally am getting to her. Because, like when somebody does, like it's kind of cute when...
yeah, this has been going on for a long time. Used to be cute.
I think she was texting her friends how annoying I was. My husband is singing Black Hole Sun for the 50th time. And I didn't know I was singing it in an endless loop because I don't even know all the words. So it's like Black Hole.
Right, so you keep singing the same thing over
and I do
and
it. I do, yeah, and I would do it very quietly. I'm just like, Black Hole Sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? And it's evidently very annoying.
You're unaware.
Yeah.
Of what should be done when you're only alone.
So then she told me to, basically shut up. So I did, and I was pouting the whole fucking walk.
But my point is, Howard, you're not a great singer.
I know, but I was enjoying. I was like, I'm enjoying myself over here while you're texting. What am I supposed to do while you're texting? You know what I mean? Really, seriously.
Goodness.
I mean, if you're going to text, that kind of annoys me. Like, how about taking a couple of minutes out and be with your husband? So anyway, I think it was a standoff.
What do you mean?
Well, I stopped singing and she stopped texting. Then I was kind of embarrassed that I had been singing. It was like the walk of shame. But anyway, then when I went to my room later to sing Black Hole Sun, I didn't even want to sing it anymore. But meanwhile, Black Hole Sun is not my favorite. I mean, I love that song, don't get me wrong. But the best song that Chris Cornell ever wrote was Pretty Noose. Am I right about that? And Pretty Noose, I mean, the guy hung himself.
That's pretty dark.
Jesus.
Do you know that song, Fred? Pretty Noose?
I do know it.
Here.
Wow.
Listen to that.
I didn't know this was called Pretty Noose.
Yeah. I'm an expert. Ask me anything. I don't know what you got me hanging from. You don't think this guy was depressed? What a song. What a talent. You know what it is? First of all, I don't know. I'm always off about guys' looks because I think Rob Zombie's the best looking guy I ever saw. And a lot of women have said to me,
amazing.
Yeah, because I'm not homosexual, I can't really tell what a woman would find attractive.
Not that Rob's heinous.
Well, I just think Rob is like what I wish I looked like. With that big beard and he's got like a nice chiseled nose.
All you need to do is grow a beard.
Yeah, but he's got like a good physique and the tattoos and I don't know if I'm willing to go that far. What if I do all that and I look ridiculous? But I also think Chris Cornell's like a really good-looking dude.
I thought he was a good-looking guy.
Yeah, I just want to look human. I want to get to that stage. But I thought Chris Cornell had the whole look when he had the long hair. And then
I thought he was good-looking because even when he cut his hair short, he was still good-looking.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Why am I a 3-time loser? I'm not good-looking. I can't sing, and I can't play the guitar. This guy's got it all going on. That's why I was like, there's no fucking way this guy would kill himself. The family is saying this drug Ativan, I believe it's called, could make you suicidal, and he took too much of it. But it's just, to be a rock star, to be that good looking, to be, like, he could sing anything, this fucking guy. This guy, I have a tape of him singing Ave Maria, and he was fucking awesome. Listen to this guy. What a loss. That's a rock star singing anything. Like, he could do that cool Bowie move. Remember when Bowie sang with Bing Crosby? Yeah. Chris Cornell could be tapped to sing Ave Maria and pull it off. And it's like, a lot of rock guys can't do that. He actually could sing. But, that's why I can't even wrap my head around a guy like having that much going on and killing himself. I just can't buy it. It's crazy to think how many lead singers from the 90s grunge scene are gone, like Kurt Cobain, of course, Lane Staley from Alice in Chains. What's that guy's name? Shannon Hoon from Blind Melon is dead. Scott Weiland, Stone Temple Pilots. But Eddie Vedder's still here, Billy Corgan, and Courtney Love. All those guys are dead, and Courtney Love survives. Who would have thought that? Everyone's always like, Courtney Love's all fucked up. She's alive. But Soundgarden was a great band, influential band. Chris Cornell also sang with supergroups, Temple of the Dog, and what, Fred? Audioslave. That's right. Yes. And a great solo career. Great-looking people should never be sad.
Oh, man.
I should be sad. You should find me hanging from a belt.
Oh, stop.
Really? What do I have? I look like...
What do you mean, what do you have?
I look like Ichabod Crane. I look like
another famous man.
Right. Robin's pretty. That's why she's never sad. She's always upbeat. She's got that look. Me? Oh, my daughter graduated college, and everyone was taking pictures, the family, and like, come on, Howard, be in a picture. And I'm like, no. And they think it's like because I'm famous. No, because I'm a fucking hideous. Every picture I see, I want to throw up. If I looked like Orlando Bloom, I'd be in every fucking picture. I'd walk over to strangers and go, could you take a picture of me with you? It's not about I'm famous. I don't want to be photographed. It's about, look at this fucking mug. I don't like it. I know burn victims that are in more selfies than me. Right, Robin?
They're more happy with their looks.
Yeah. I'm sitting there thinking, they want a picture with this monster. Hey, take a picture with that monster over there. Oh.
Well, don't start talking yourself down
I know. I'm going to go hang
and wind
myself.
up at the end of a rope. Stop
But
that.
I love Chris Cornell. Well, anyway, I first got into the band, 1994 when Black Hole Sun came out. I saw that video on MTV and I was like, who are these guys? And that whole album was good. Super Unknown. Awesome. Had like 5 hits on it. Black Hole Sun, Fell on Black Days. Great song, right? And Spoon Man. This was inspired by this dude, like a street musician who played with spoons.
Yeah.
And then they interviewed Chris Cornell on Rolling Stone. And he couldn't believe the guy could do so much with spoons. And he wanted to acknowledge this guy's talent somehow. And he even had him play on the song. You know who else is a spoon man? JD. He collects spoons. Can't play them, though.
Can't do anything with him.
JD told me this is going to be his wedding song, Spoon Man, because he collects... JD, what do you got? You got an Applebee's spoon, right?
One of them, yes.
Yeah, what's the best spoon you have?
There was one from Universal Studios that was kind of cool.
I don't know what it is.
Universal Studios?
Something about Universal Studios. JD, yeah.
Collected spoons from Disneyland. JD, masturbating is his plan. JD, he's got a spoon from Apple Barn. Masturbating with his porn. Spoon Man.
Yeah, Chris wrote that as a follow-up.
You know, I'm reading the side effects of Ativan.
Yeah, go ahead.
And they say this all the time. Call your doctor at once if you have thoughts of suicide or hurting yourself.
Yeah, I don't think he called his doctor.
I don't think anybody thinks first to call their doctor.
I don't even like bothering my doctor.
But if you're having a bad day, like, oh my God, I think I should die or whatever, you go, oh, I better call my doctor?
Yeah.
Nobody's ever had that thought.
Yeah.
Is it enough to say, if this happens to you, call your doctor? How about making sure the medication doesn't give people suicidal thoughts?
Yeah, you got to hear this. You talk about side effects. This is fucking for real, too. This is a drug ad on Fox News. It had so many side effects. It was the side effects were longer than the actual benefits. Here, listen to this. The drug is called, what's that? How do you say that? Opdivo?
Optivo.
Optivo?
Something like that.
What is this Trulicity thing?
That's another one.
Yeah, I know. All right, I'll start with this one.
Opdivo significantly increased the chance of living longer versus chemotherapy. Opdivo can cause your immune system to attack normal organs and tissues in your body and affect how they work. This may happen anytime during or after treatment has ended and may become serious and lead to death. See your doctor right away if you experience new or worsening cough, chest pain, shortness of breath, diarrhea, severe stomach pain or tenderness, severe nausea or vomiting, extreme fatigue, constipation, excessive thirst or urine, swollen ankles, loss of appetite, rash, itching, headache, confusion, hallucinations, muscle or joint pain, flushing, fever, or weakness, as this may keep these problems from becoming more serious. These are not all the possible side effects of Opdivo. A chance to live longer. Ask your doctor about Opdivo.
I don't know what this Opdivo does for you, but I'll tell you what.
It's an anti-cancer drug, but
I think cancer
has
has less side
effect
effects.
of death.
Yeah, cancer has less side effects than Opdivo, I think. Did you ever hear a commercial? That's a real commercial. We didn't make that up.
I know. I hear some of these commercials, and the side effects are really frightening.
Anyway, let me get back to my Chris Cornell tribute because this is important. Still talking about the breakthrough album, Super Unknown. Also had this song on it, The Day I Try to Live. Anyway, it's a brilliant album, and that same and Soundgarden got started in 1984, and their first, I think I want to say 1991, they put out an album called Bad Motorfinger. I know, not a great name, but they had this was like from their first album, and this was Outshined. You know this. Yeah, all this. And then the same year they formed, he formed Temple of the Dog. It was a super group. Few of the dudes from Pearl Jam. They only released one album. And this one's called Hunger Strike. This is Chris Cornell and Eddie Vedder trading vocals. Beautiful song. Anyway, it's so sad. And yeah, Chris Cornell appeared on our show a few times. He came in just with a guitar, and here he is singing Black Hole Sun in our studio. Unless you just want me to sing it. Black Hole Sun. I sing like a pirate when I try to sing like him. Maybe that's what annoyed Beth. I was like, a black hole sun, won't you come? Take away the rain.
Are there other people on the street?
No. Otherwise quiet.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, no, I don't sing in front of other people. Just Beth. Beth gets that.
Black hole sun, won't you come?
Beautiful.
Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, black hole sun. Black hole.
Beautiful performance. I asked Chris at some point, I don't know, he was talking about, I said, people think you're moody, and he addressed it.
I have the moody and miserable cunt kind of thing. It's a reputation.
Everyone kept saying to me, when you interview Chris Cornell, just be prepared. He doesn't, he's going to be all bummed out. and shit.
Right.
That's not true at all. That's not true. I've spent years actually I think when it was early Soundgarden and it was all of us in a room together as a band, it was like that, partly because we were trying to be cool in front of each other. So it's like you don't want to look like you're happy about anything in front of your bandmate because you'll look like an asshole.
In that same interview, he talked about Kurt Cobain's suicide. It's very, very, very eerie to listen to now.
I had friends die before that, and the way that he did it was kind of a twist. But other than that, I'd been through it before, and it was a shame. But it's like it's a shame for his daughter, for one.
Yeah.
It's a shame for fans, But really, it's a personal thing, and I don't know. It was a drag, and I wish it didn't happen. And I also think if he would have just kind of hung on for 6 months, who knows? 6 months later, he would have been a completely different guy.
Yeah, who knows what kind of decision that was. See, that's why I don't think he really meant to commit suicide.
But even that song you just played a few minutes ago was, it sort of was that. If you last through the depression,
Right.
give it a day or two, you might make it.
See, Robin?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I forget who's saying what, but we're all saying the same thing. And the other thing I really loved about Chris Cornell, because we dealt with him a couple of times, I always loved, he did great cover versions of songs. And sometimes, this is the oddest thing, like I'll see someone online doing a cover version, and then they're coming in the studio, and I'll say to them, oh, would you do that cover version? And they're like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. For some reason, I don't know why. They don't want to do cover versions when they come in here. Chris Cornell was like, yeah, what do you want to hear? He was like, yeah, put out the requests. So, I had seen him online do Thank You, the Led Zeppelin song, which is like one of the most, when Chris Cornell saying thank you was so beautiful because, he made me realize what a love song that was. I don't know, when Zeppelin did it, I never really kind of concentrated on that aspect of it. I know it sounds crazy, but I never really focused on the words. But when he did that cover version, I thought, oh man, this is really fucking great. And he could take a Zeppelin song and make it his own. And so he was like, sure, I'll come in and sing Thank You. And he walked in the studio early in the morning, no complaints, and just sang.
If the sun refused to shine, I would still be loving you. If mountains crumbled to the sea, there would still be you and me. Kind of woman, I give you my heart. Kind of woman, nothing more.
Beautiful. Good looking dude. Got the guitar thing going, can sing. Shit, that should have been me.
Would you take it with deep depression?
Yes. Yes, Robin. Now, you know what? I think depression, as I was explaining to Beth on our walk when she was complaining about my singing, I said, I don't think we really, because everyone's always like puzzled by it. They go, well, he had everything. He had money, he had band, he had good looks. I go, I don't think we really even understand that deep depression. That is a real illness. I mean, to the point where you don't want to live, even if you've got everything.
Right.
That's like Richard Corey, Paul Simon kind of shit. The guy, guy's super wealthy, super good looking, gets all the women. And the guy in the factory can't figure out why Richard Corey killed himself. Like, that's what I'm saying. The whole thing just doesn't add up in our minds because we don't understand depression. That must be some dark shit. Anyway, I love the guy. I remember he also did a version of Prince's Nothing Compares to You at Sirius XM's Artist Confidential in 2015, and I pulled it out of the archive.
Well, that's what I was listening to, and he actually told a story where, he considers it a tribute, and he said Prince was one of his idols. And, so he hoped that Prince knew that he was covering, that song. And then he said he was watching Prince on a TV show, and Prince was asked if he liked it when other people did his songs, and Prince said, "No, not really."
I don't like it.
There's nothing.
Prince is a little fucking weirdo. Let's be honest. How could you not be complimented when somebody else does?
Right.
He's fucking full of shit, Prince.
There's nothing compared. Nothing compared to you.
Beautiful.
It's been so lonely without you here, like a bird without a song.
You could even do that little, what a waste. I asked him, I said, how do you approach doing a cover of a song? What's your philosophy there?
I think you gotta like it. It has to be something where as you're playing it, I think especially acoustically, it has to be kind of you're doing it for you almost. Because if you don't get that feeling, then it kind of doesn't work. And it doesn't matter how simple it is or what it is. That's the amazing thing about I always felt about the Beatles and about John Lennon is that they did have some songs that were complicated, but they don't feel complicated when you play them ever. Yeah. And they don't ever sound that way.
Yeah, bright guy. And here he is singing John Lennon's Imagine on my show in 2011.
Imagine all the people living for the day. Imagine there's no countries.
Beautiful voice.
It isn't hard to do.
He told me that John Lennon was his favorite songwriter of all time. His relationship with his dad was so rough that he looked up to Lennon like almost like a father figure.
I actually looked to him as a father figure when I was a kid. Because I sat in a room at 9 and 10 years old and listened to Beatles records and John Lennon records over and over and over and over. And he was an intense guy with an intense attitude musically, lyrically, and as a person.
Yeah, he had a whole series of bad relationships in his life. Remember he told us about he got stabbed by his girlfriend? It was crazy.
We were in a kitchen.
No, I don't remember that.
We were in a kitchen. Nothing really particularly crazy was going on. All of a sudden, she was holding a knife, and she kind of comes at me and starts going at me, trying to stab me with a knife. So I put my hand out, and she put it right through my hand.
That's craziness.
And when you're at that age, you kind of think, oh, so this is what relationships are. This is
this is mad love.
This is the first thing that's happening to me.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming there's more like this. And then that was true.
I don't buy it. I don't know what happened here, but just a really nice guy, talented, super, super talented guy. The other thing, too, is he did a famous cover of Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. And I asked him why he chose that song, and here's what he said.
Initially, the idea was it was going to be a joke, and when Audioslave would play, I would do like 4 songs or so acoustically in the middle of the set.
Right.
So I was gonna work up a version of that and just start playing it because there's nothing they could do about it, and it was just gonna be kind of a funny joke between band members. Mm-hmm. And when I looked at the lyrics I changed the time signature to a kind of gospel-y 3/4 thing and slowed it down.
Right.
And so I was just kind of sitting there and started singing the actual words, which I didn't even know what they were.
Right.
It wasn't funny anymore.
You found that you liked the song.
I actually thought that it was really well written, and I thought the lyrics told a pretty incredible story.
So you see, it started out as a goof, and then all of a sudden it was kind of cool, and here's his concert version of Billie Jean.
She's just a girl who says that I am the one, but the cat is not my son. She says I am the one,
Beautiful.
but the cat is not my son. 40 days, 40 nights, the law was on her side. Who could stand when she's in the man? Her schemes and her plans. 'Cause she danced on the floor and around.
Beautiful. Should play the whole version of that. You know, and I never was a big fan of Michael Jackson and that Billie Jean song, but when he did it, he's right. He turned into something really I liked. But he talked about his love of music. This is why I can't believe he's gone or he committed suicide like willingly. You know, like he really knew what he was doing, because back in 2011, you could just hear how excited this guy is about music. Listen to him.
Pink Floyd is a band that I always really loved because they created this atmosphere and this environment with their music that I feel like there's a magic involved. Same with Led Zeppelin, where you know it's them, even if you hear half a bar. There's something about every part of the orchestration and the rhythm section, the drums, bass, guitar, vocals, that when you put all that together, it creates this other world that you get to then go into. And that was how I survived as a kid.
Yeah.
I was a typical musician in that I was geeky. I wasn't good at sports, and I was horrible at school. And I loved music as a fan.
Right.
I didn't think I was going to play it. I just sat in a room and listened to records.
Anyway, we'll pay a tribute to Chris Cornell this Friday on Howard 101. You can hear all of our Chris Cornell interviews on Sternthology, then our 2014 Soundgarden special where the band performed the entire Super Unknown album for us exclusively at the Webster Hall in New York. That's Friday starting at 5 Eastern on Howard 101. And I say one final thank you to Chris Cornell for always coming in here and entertaining us and being such a good interview, even though we had heard maybe he wouldn't be, but he was terrific. And I don't know. I'm very saddened by this. This is, in fact, because Beth isn't here now I can adequately and in tribute sing Black Hole Sun for you, Robin, and the fans, which I'd like to do right now, if I may. In a very casual way. Black Hole Sun, won't you come and wash away. See, that's not annoying. And wash away the rain.
I'm just wondering why you choose a cappella.
Black hole. It seems to help because when you add music to this, it seems I'm not in the right key. You see, in my mind, I sound good right now. A black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun. Look, now Fred is annoyed. I found Fred hanging in the corner. I can't believe it. Anyway, there you go, Robin, a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Chris Cornell, gone but not forgotten. Right?
Well, the music will always be with us. He left us with the music.
Yeah. But now I don't even know if I can listen to it because it gets me upset.
Well, you listen to John Lennon music.
Yeah, but I get sad. John Lennon's another one of those guys, you know? Why did they have to kill him? You know, this guy, he's like, to me, the greatest talent that ever lived. And that fucknut, whatever the guy's name was that killed, Chapman. He's still in jail, though. Thank God Yoko goes.
Yes, they don't talk about letting him out, even though.
Yeah, they do every couple of years.
No, but nobody actually is saying, well, we're going to release him.
The judge knows, but Yoko shows up. She just has to sit there and stare at that asshole. I feel bad for her having to look at him, but
Yeah, it's like
You
a
know.
job she has every time
Yeah.
he has a parole hearing. She has to be there.
But she does it, and I thank her for that. Robin and I would go sit there, but when we're afraid they'd let him out.
Yeah, they look at us and say, lock them up.
Yeah, lock those two. I did watch, I didn't know, I saw that the ratings for the finale of Saturday Night Live season were very high. I did watch it. It was The Rock and Katy Perry.
But it was an all-star cast.
It really was, and I thought there was some real funny stuff. I wonder if you did. First of all, Vanessa Bayer announced she's leaving, and I always liked her because she does that bar mitzvah boy
Yes.
impression that I always thought was really funny. But she does this new thing. She did it 2 Saturday nights in a row where she's a weather lady, like on the news.
Brilliant.
It's
Yeah.
really great. That's just, I
don't know how she does it.
It's awesome. Hap, and
Yeah, instead of yes.
yeah. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm one of those people that believes The Rock should not be a movie star. It's annoying. You know what I mean? Like, the guy had a pretty good wrestling career. It should have been over. Maybe he made a cameo in some action film or something, but guy's got like a major movie star, and you don't ever want to say anything really that good about him.
Well, it's not like he's a terrible person or anything.
No, but I hate him just because he's so successful. I'll be honest. Thinking that big fucking, whatever that tattoo is he put all over his
I don't
titties.
know what that is. It's like, a
the
whole
ugliest thing.
painting on his body.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ, dude. What is that? But anyway, you don't want him to do well, but I got to say he was really funny. And when he invented that robot that is a child molesting robot, I thought that was really funny. And I thought The Rock doing promos with Bobby Moynihan as wrestling
he did
promos,
a good job.
it was funny. And I was like, fuck him. Fucking Rock, all relaxed up there. 5 times the host of Saturday Night Live. Suck dick.
But you know what he's promoting?
What? Some horrible
The
movie?
Baywatch movie.
I know. That's got to tank, right? I mean, there's no fucking
please,
way.
it has to.
Has to.
The commercials look absolutely awful.
If anybody goes to see that beside me and Robin, it's going to be trouble. Yeah, Bobby Moynihan's leaving after 9 seasons, too. I like him.
Wow.
Yeah. But The Rock was good as a host, and he was
And
funny.
Katy Perry was great.
Well,
Even though
I-
those aren't songs, are they?
I don't know, but I liked that first song she did, and I didn't want to like her either with her new short haircut and everything. And she doesn't come in here.
Great.
She doesn't come in here anymore. She came in once and never comes back. And
Right.
I wanted to hate her, but that first song was pretty catchy tune for a pop song.
But there's hardly any song there. It's mostly dancing.
So what?
and
It
then
works.
she says a line.
It's
I'm
against
like, well, are these really songs?
it's
But
against
I'm
Taylor
enjoying
Swift.
it.
That song, Swish.
What?
That song is against Taylor Swift.
Oh, it is.
That's right. Come
But
on,
you know
Robin.
about all the rivalries.
I do. When it's hot chicks hating each other. I love all these like female singers. I started to watch the Billboard Music Awards last night, but I fell asleep. But I love that everyone's got to be almost nude, like all the girls, like they're
Right.
like they're showing titty and belly, and they don't know what to do with themselves. Katy Perry's rubbing food against her vagina. Like she was simulating masturbation. Girls today they're all hot chicks. These singers, and they have to get almost completely nude. And they kind of like despise guys looking at them, except when they're on stage. But she was good. What is that song she sings? Swish, swish. You got that, Fred? I don't know how to get that.
You have it.
I was actually moving around in my bed to this. Sounds like she's got another hit. I don't know how it's against
How
Katy.
is this against Taylor Swift?
Swift. Yeah, I don't know, but it is. I read it in an article. There was a bunch of drag queens coming out.
Yeah, that was
Pretty
fun
good.
to watch.
Yeah. And then I saw also on that show for like a second, you saw Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson playing Ivanka Trump.
Yeah, I didn't know who she was playing. I didn't even understand that. But at the end, she was standing there, and then they say at the after party, the white guy who's one of the anchor men on Saturday Night Live, I don't know his name.
Colin Jost?
Yeah, he. They're saying they were making out. Scarlett Johansson
Really?
and Colin Jost. Yeah, he got her.
Get out of here.
Probably fucked her. Yeah. No, I'm not kidding. He fucked Scarlett Johansson, or
He
at least
doesn't deserve her.
he was sucking on her face all night, and they were doing it out in the open, like nobody was really ashamed.
No wonder she showed up.
Life's so unfair. No wonder Chris Cornell took his own life.
That had nothing to do with it.
It was like ScarJo and the dude from Saturday Night Live. Okay. Evidently, he's a very good-looking guy, according to the article I read.
No, he's not.
He's no Rob Zombie. People are already saying ScarJost.
Doesn't she hate that when they do that?
She told us she did. See? Swish, swish, bish.
Bish. Instead
Bish.
of saying bitch,
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Woo! What's that noise? Woo! Swish, swish, bish. I thought it was a catchy tune. I'll give her that. All right, turn this shit off because I'm in a Black Hole Sun kind of singing mood. Anyway, Roger Ailes died. I'll do sort of a tribute to him, like not tribute, but I'll talk about that later in the show. I got a lot of shit. to talk
It was
about.
a big weekend for death.
Big death weekend coming at you. See, some people want to say hi, and then we got to take a break. Hey, Jim. Jim in Florida.
Hey, yes. Hey, how you doing, Howard?
Where are you in Florida?
I'm in Jensen Beach, nowhere near David.
What's the temp?
It's right about 80 degrees this morning.
Love hot weather.
Yeah, very nice, sunny, and
We
beautiful.
had it for a minute.
Yeah, we had like 82 degrees this weekend at one point. But like we get
well,
it,
I'm
and
originally
we're
from
all
Long
of
Island.
us run outside. You should see it's like a fucking zoo animals out on the street. People just like, oh my God, it's 82, and they go, you live in Florida, it's 82. People are like, fuck it, tomorrow it'll be 82 also. So who gives a shit? Here, everyone gets fucking bizarrely, excited and running around traffic all of a sudden. Everyone goes, oh my God, it's 82. They start running to the beach. It's too much of an event. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I got to get down to Florida. I got a place down there. I just never see it.
You come stay with me.
No, I got a place. If I'm going to go there, I'm going to go to my place. Not your shithole. I'll go to my shithole. Florida's the best. I don't care what people say. It's flat. People are crazy down there. All the weird shit happens.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Florida's great. It's nice weather. Right, Jim?
Yeah, you're right. I'm originally from Long Island.
Yeah.
Grew up
Look
in
where you are.
Wantagh. Yeah.
What are you, a Jew?
No.
No.
There are other people down in Florida besides Jews.
That's
not,
right.
Not from what I've observed. It's like all the old Jews are down there. I see.
Well,
It's like an old Jew
there's certain
museum.
pockets. There's certain Jew pockets down here.
There are Jew pockets.
Jew pocket.
There are Jew pockets. It's a new after dinner treat. Jew pockets. Go ahead, Jim. What's up? Did you see Trump's in Israel?
I don't know.
You don't follow
about
that? I follow all that shit.
Yeah,
I follow.
saw that.
I was saying Thursday evening, I was, of course, I turned on your station right away. And, of course, I'm listening to the same loop that plays the whole weekend long and same segment I tuned in. But I switched over to Deep Tracks, and they were playing Led Zeppelin's My Time to Die
Right.
on Jim Ladd's show. As soon as the song ended, Jim Ladd came in somber and said this was the last song that Chris Cornell sang that evening before he hung himself.
Wow. Yeah,
He did
that's
an
true.
encore, did Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, they had just performed.
I just watched that performance
Yeah.
in Detroit. Yeah, I some kid with his iPhone or something must have taped that, and I was watching it. It was sad.
It's almost like he did have a plan.
Jim Ladd works on Sirius.
Yeah.
Wasn't
He-
Jim
he
Ladd
does,
like a big DJ in L.A. or something?
Yeah. He does live from the Hollywood Hills. And it's a live stream. It's not, it's always got a theme. And
It's so weird. Like someone said to me the day, my kid wants to go into radio, and I went, "Who goes into radio anymore? I don't even think there is radio."
Yeah, what is radio?
Yeah, it's weird because I was reading the ratings. I get the Tom Taylor Now report every day on my computer, and that's a radio newsletter. And once a month they come out with the big ratings, the Nielsen PPMs, and all that. And I start to read it, but I used to know all this shit. Like they go in Philadelphia, number one now is These two guys, I never even heard of them before, Preston and Steve. And I'm reading about them, and I go, well, they're on WMMR. That was the station we used to beat up on. But, like, now there's new guys. I don't even know what they do. I used to be up on all the different markets.
Oh, yeah.
And I went, God, what a relief not having to even look at that shit anymore.
I
I'm
have to
so
listen
happy.
In my work truck, I have to listen to terrestrial radio, and I hate it.
Yeah, because of the commercials and, and they got to be so goddamn safe and the language.
Yeah. Horrible.
I'll tell you the
funny
truth.
bit
When I
and
get
the
these
fake laugh.
When I get these rating reports, I don't get envious in the least. Like, for a second, like, I was reading the ratings in Cleveland, and I go, wait a second. We were number one in Cleveland. We were number one in Philly. We were number one in New York. We were number one in L.A. And I start to look at the markets, and I go, man, imagine if we left terrestrial radio, and that would be our next move. We'd go back and kick all their asses. And then I went, who the fuck wants to do that?
Who wants that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I get my sanity back in 2 seconds.
Thank goodness.
But,
Thank God you're here. Sign up for another 10.
Then I was checking, like, Washington, D.C., where we worked. I don't even know one station anymore. I don't even, like.
The stations don't even have the same name.
No, they don't. Like, what happened to WAVA and DC 101? I don't even know if they're still there. And then I checked, like, Hartford, because I used to be up on that market. I didn't know anything that was going on. But it is a relief. I mean, that urge I get to sometimes go back, it leaves within 3 seconds.
WAVA is religious talk.
Can you believe this shit? Hi, WAVA, Washington's best rock. What was that guy? Surf. He was the program director. I knew everybody. Remember, there was like a Grease Man, and what happened to all these guys? They're all gone. Grease
Some
Man,
of them have
maybe.
been exiled.
Yeah, I think some of them like went off to like like an
They had
old
to
age
go out
home.
of the country.
Maybe a lot of them in the old age home. I mean, I tell you the truth. Like, look at this: Sacramento, Salt Lake City. I knew all these markets. You used to be able to. You asked me a question. I was like a fucking industry book. Las Vegas, we were number one there. I'm reading about it. Beasley, this, that. I go, who the hell's number one there now?
Well, they were your enemies then, so you have to know your enemies. Now you're the king. You were the king of your domain.
Hey, Robin, speaking of which, did you know you were nominated for the National Radio Hall of Fame? Wow. Do you know this?
No.
Let's see what the category is. All I know is I was nominated for this. I thought we were nominated together, but evidently not. But I was nominated for this, and I told them I would not appear, and I did not want my name. I wanted to withdraw my name. You were nominated. This is a nomination to be voted on by a participating panel.
Oh, forget it. Either give me a award or don't.
Long-standing network syndication, 20 years or more, Robin Quivers. You're up against Denny Matthews from the Kansas City Royals play-by-play broadcast, Jim Rome of the Jim Rome Show. And I went like, the reason I got all angry was I was like, the Radio Hall of Fame, first of all, how many good radio guys are there? Zero. Secondly...
Yeah, most of the time you don't even know who they're nominating.
And I said to Robin, we should just start the Howard Stern Hall of Fame. And it wouldn't even be called radio, it'd just be called Howard Stern. So I got all, self-righteous and indignant. Yeah, you're in the gigantic-breasted newswoman category. Anybody with over a D cup. You're going to be Jim Rome.
Got my vote.
Yeah, but anyway, it's the same characters and everything. Well, I hope you win, Robin. Congratulations.
No, it's fine if I don't. It was an honor just to be nominated.
There you go, just to be mentioned.
Titties.
Where are the parties?
Does that mean you won't go?
No, I won't be going.
Yeah. Jared, you're on. Thanks, Jim. Jared, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard.
Hi.
Hey now, how are you? So,
hey now.
Hey now. So, I was actually calling. This past weekend there was a couple of, large rock festivals. One out in Ohio, and the other one down in Philadelphia. And it just seemed. I was actually at the Philadelphia festival, and Chris Cornell dying. I mean, hit deep. I mean, every band that played had some type of tribute to him, whether they were singing Black Hole Sun or they were
Won't you come and wash
Howard was doing
away.
his tribute.
I did my tribute for Beth, but she didn't like it. She told me to shush.
Yeah, my wife told me the shush too, Howard. It was I had to stop singing.
Well,
it. So it's not
actually,
singing,
Jared, U2, Metallica, Aerosmith, Living Colour, Ryan Adams, they all paid tribute to Chris in a concert this weekend. All of them.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, no, he was a well-liked, real talent, and I'm really sorry that he's gone. And that's what am I going to say? I mean, it's awful. It's depressing. But there you have it. I even said to myself, he should have called me. I would have cheered him up, told him a couple of jokes.
Well, that's what I was saying. I don't think you think of calling anyone.
Call Dr. Stern. Yeah, when you're that depressed, you're not calling anyone. You're going. But I don't know if it was caused by medication or drugs or whatever the family is saying, but I'm just sad he's gone. You know? That's it. Good guy. Good guy. As far as we could tell. He treated us nicely, so therefore he's a good guy.
Yeah, I don't know how the guys in Soundgarden felt about him, but they did get back together.
They got back together. They liked him. I don't know. Who the fuck? What do we know? Or anything? Disc jockey.